All right, let's dive right in. Welcome to your ultimate high-speed revision guide for the Cambridge International A-Level IT exam. We're going to cover the absolute essentials, the stuff you really need to know, and we're going to do it fast.
So, the exam is just around the corner, and I totally get that feeling. It feels like there's a mountain of stuff to learn. But hey, don't sweat it. We're about to cut through all the noise and focus on what truly matters.
Okay, so grab a pen, maybe some paper, get rid of any distractions, and let's get you exam ready. This is all about getting the maximum info in the minimum time. Let's go.
First things first, if you want to get the top marks, you've got to know the rules of the game. See, it's not just about knowing your stuff, it's about knowing how to give the examiner the exact answer they're looking for.
Okay, pay close attention here, because this slide is a total mark winner. Understanding that a word like compare needs both similarities and differences, while contrast only wants the differences, that's a game changer. And when you see explain, you've got to give the why or the how. Don't just list facts. Seriously, getting these words right is your first big step to a better grade.
Right, let's get into the technical stuff. Networks are like the absolute backbone of all modern IT. So you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to show up big time on your exam.
So, at its most basic level, what is a network? Well, it's just a bunch of devices, or nodes, all connected up to share stuff, like data, files, or even a printer. This diagram shows it perfectly. See the small local network on the left? That's your LAN. Now follow the lines as they stretch across the globe to the WAN on the right. Getting that difference in scale is absolutely key. This right here is a classic exam comparison. In a client-server network, you've got one big, powerful central server that dishes out resources to all the other computers, the clients. Think of your school's network. It's secure, it's centralized. But on a peer-to-peer network, every single computer is equal. They all share files directly with each other. It's way cheaper and simpler for a small setup. You definitely need to know the pros and cons of both. So, what even is the cloud? It's not some magical thing up in the sky. Your textbook nails the definition. It's simply sharing computing resources, like storage or processing power, over a network. The big idea here is that you don't actually own the hardware. You're just accessing it, and that has fundamentally changed everything in IT.
So, how do all these completely different devices from all over the world manage to talk to each other? The answer is protocols. You can think of them as the agreed-upon language of the internet. Without rules like TCP/IP or HTTP, your computer would have no idea how to connect to a website. They're basically the unsung heroes of the digital world.
Okay, so we've talked about the parts, the building blocks, like networks, but how do you actually take those parts and build a whole new working IT system from scratch? Well, you follow a structured process, and that process is called the system lifecycle. It's the blueprint for any development project.
You have got to know these 6 stages, and you've got to know them in order. It's a really logical journey if you think about it. You start with a plan, you figure out what's needed, you design a solution, you build and test it, you roll it out, and then you have to keep it running. Each stage just flows right into the next.
Now, let's zoom in on one of the most vital stages here, testing. And it's not just about finding bugs, okay? It's about checking. Does this system actually do what we said it would do, way back in the analysis and design stages? Does it work the way it was intended to? That's the crucial question.
And here it is, your classic exam question, the difference between alpha and beta testing. Here's the key thing to remember. Who does the testing and where? Alpha is internal. It's done by the developers themselves at their own office. Beta is external. It's done by real users out in the real world. Just remember, alpha comes first, then beta. So the system lifecycle tells us what steps to take to build something. But how do we actually manage all the people, the time, and the money involved in that process? Well, that's a whole different challenge, and it needs its own framework, project management. And this is the project lifecycle. This is the manager's point of view. While the developers are busy analyzing, designing, and coding, the project manager is using this framework: initiation, planning, executing, monitoring, and closure to make sure the whole thing actually gets done on time and, super importantly, on budget. And to pull that off, project managers use some specific tools. You just need to know what they are. So you've got Gantt charts for seeing timelines, and you have PERT charts and the critical path method to figure out the most important tasks that absolutely cannot be delayed.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the topics that are really shaping the future of IT. This is where things get super exciting. And trust me, examiners love to ask about this stuff to see if you're up to date.
We have more data today than ever before, but honestly, a lot of it is messy and comes in all kinds of different formats. Data transformation is that essential first step of converting all that raw data into one, consistent, usable format. You just can't analyze anything without doing this first.
And hand in hand with transformation, you have cleaning. This is all about quality control. It's about getting rid of all the junk, the incorrect, the duplicate, the corrupted data, so that your final analysis is actually based on good, accurate information. It's like filtering out the noise to find the real signal.
And finally, the big one, AI. The textbook definition here is perfect. It's about getting computer systems to do tasks that you'd normally think only a human could do, like learning or solving problems. This isn't science fiction anymore, folks. This is a core part of information technology today.
And that's our high-speed tour. We've hit exam technique, networks, development cycles, and the new tech that's changing the world. You've got the foundation now. The real trick is to start seeing how all of these ideas connect to each other.
So, as a final thought, just ask yourself this. Which of these areas, from cloud computing to project management to AI, really gets you excited? Because what you're studying for this exam isn't just about getting a grade. It's the toolkit for your entire future. Now go ace that test. Good luck. You've got this.